All right.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome. Can you hear me okay?
Loud
Yep.
and clear.
Beautiful. Everyone's popping in right now. Hope everyone's doing well. Everyone having a good week, ready for the holidays, Christmas time, and all that good stuff.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. It's for the
Look at
kids,
Nate.
right?
Yeah, Nate, I like you rocking the beanie. Look at that setup, man. That looks pretty professional. What type of camera you using there, bro? That's better than my little. What's that?
Net that just got connected to audio. Yeah, dude, I got excited. I set up, I've had a Sony A6500 for a while, and I finally figured out how to turn it into my webcam. So it's, yeah, pretty sweet setup. Excited about it.
Awesome. Oh, it looks like Mike Morris is driving through San Francisco right now. Good to see you, buddy. Hey JC, how you doing, bud?
What's up, Brandon? How you doing?
Good. Are you home in New Jersey?
No, I'm in Dallas right now.
You're in Dallas right now. Sweet.
Yes, sir. Kind of
And
chilly out here.
Joseph, where are you joining us from?
I'm in Citrus. I'm on Citrus County, just north of Tampa there, about an hour and a half.
Beautiful.
A little chilly over here today, too.
Yeah. Justin, how about you? Where are you from?
St. Paul, Minnesota.
Ooh, it's chilly there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not only cold, but a lot of snow coming down today.
Oh, I bet. Shoot, man. Well, cool. Yeah, so we're gonna have some fun. Ray, are you there? Are you able to hear me okay? My buddy Ray's joining on here in a second. I did want to kind of start off. There he is. What's up, Ray? Can you hear us okay? Oh, connecting the audio. There we go. Can you hear us, buddy? Looks like it's muted, Ray. Darn cell phones. I think if you just hit the microphone, unmute yourself, you'll be okay.
Boom.
There you go. Boom. Awesome. Well, hey guys, if you guys don't know Ray Spencer, you need to know Ray Spencer. Ray's one of my friends out here in the Phoenix market. He's a creative real estate genius. And I'm not saying that just to brag, like literally he is like a mad scientist when it comes to kind of putting deals together. What I love about Ray, and I have a story I want to share with you guys. After we talk to Ray, there's a story about Buster Douglas. Anyone know the story about Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson?
Yeah.
So who's Buster Douglas? Anyone know who Buster Douglas is?
That's the fighter, the guy that invented the microwave or some kind of cooking tool.
I think you're thinking of George Foreman.
Oh, George Foreman. There you go.
Yeah, Buster Douglas is the one who fought Mike Tyson.
Yeah, Buster Douglas is the guy who got knocked out by Mike Tyson.
Correct.
Counted to the count of 8, I think it was. The referee, he made it up, and the referee let him go on, and he won into the next couple rounds, and he actually ended up knocking out Mike Tyson. He was like the first guy to ever knock out Mike Tyson. Now, here's a really interesting thing about that story, and I'll show this clip at the end of the call. His mom was telling everyone, Buster Douglas's mom was telling everyone her son was going to knock out Mike Tyson. He was going to be the next heavyweight champ of the world. Can you imagine the pressure that puts on a son, right? And by the way, Buster Douglas was just a nobody. He was someone that Mike Tyson was fighting in between a couple of fights, like before he was supposed to fight Evander Holyfield and stuff. But what ended up, Mike Tyson got beat by Buster Douglas. But here's what's interesting about what happened. Buster Douglas's mom passed away just a few days before the fight. So emotionally, that would be really hard, right? And you could say he would be down and out, but he was very committed to go ahead and move forward on the fight, and he ended up fighting Mike Tyson, and he ended up winning, and we'll see that story. But Ray Spencer reminds me of Buster Douglas, because if you don't count someone out, even when they get knocked down, they can come up and still be the heavyweight champion of the world. So, Ray, thanks for joining us, man. I really appreciate it. Everyone in this group is learning creative real estate. Some of them are just getting started, brand spanking new, haven't done a deal yet. A lot of them are doing have done some wholesaling. So I think you're muted, but I'd love to have you chime in and tell us a little bit what you're working on right now, and some of the stuff, and how creative real estate has changed your life.
Start with the first question. Unmuted it.
Okay. What are the things tell us some creative real estate stuff that you're doing right now?
I am working on a 908 acres of land in Sierra Vista with one of these sub-2 leaders. So I did a reverse engineered creative financing deal.
Okay, I'm all ears.
The way that works is it's novation. We put it on the MLS, but it's an actual. Can you guys see me?
Yep, we can hear you and see you. Yep.
So it's a creative financing deal that we put on the MLS, but I put it on the market as like a pocket listing first to see who would take it, as a teaser to the brokerage that I put out. And that's how I marketed and found a buyer who wanted to buy it. So that's what I'm working on. I just bought my own mansion property, 1.2 mil, as a seller financing real estate. I'm working on 2 more seller financing mansions because everybody wants one all of a sudden. So at one happens to be an option too. So
nice.
I picked up a few deals, working on 5 right now that are creative financing deals, lease, wraps, subject tos, lease options. I do a lot of novations. That's what I'm working on currently. I'm in one of my projects right now as we speak. So
yeah, I was gonna say, I think you're on one of those spots right now. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Are you in Phoenix there?
I'm in Phoenix.
Yeah, awesome.
I currently do different, so let me throw this at the guys. I currently do 13 different markets. I do creative financing on apartments. I do creative financing we just locked up a 30 unit in Poplar Bluff, Missouri, an apartment building. I also do offices on creative financing as well.
Beautiful. Now, can we ask you how you got interested or how you got started in real estate, and especially the creative real estate stuff?
I've been off and on in real estate, getting my ass whipped for probably 4 years, going up, going down, make money, lost money. I've built 2 7-figure wholesale companies and have lost them. And just trial and error, just never really giving up, keep going back at it. How I got approached to seller financing, I didn't know this, but I read a book at the library. I used to study books at the library a lot. I picked up a book that was teaching me how to do a novation. I didn't know it was a novation. They actually mentioned it as an equitable listing. And I would jump on Zillow. I would find out-of-state buyers who had land, and then I would put it under novation and list it on the market with my ability to market the property. And then I would sell a whole bunch of land and mobile homes for a while. And I did that for about a year, not knowing it was a novation.
Wow. That's great. Now you're pretty much self-taught though, right?
I am.
That's amazing. Now, I want to open up for everyone. We have people from all over. We got people from Florida, Minnesota, Arizona, California.
Are they on video? Are they on? Let me see. I can only see you. Okay. There's a couple people on there. What's up, guys? What's up?
Hey, how we doing?
What's going on?
What's up, Ray?
So Ray's one of my favorite people in the Phoenix market. You know why? Because he's authentic, he's real. He's look, I know a lot of the guys in the market. I know Ray, I know 7-figure guys right now that are closing doors.
I know, me too. It's sad.
And they probably have more Instagram followers than they have money in the bank right now. So, but hey, guess what? We all been ups and downs, and the market has been hard. I know I built up a team. I had huge teams before, and I remember I made a real fat profit on a flip, and I should have been doing cartwheels, and I was just like not even happy because it's like just covering the bills, So I wanted to kind of open up, but one of the things I think that the theme for today is I wanted to kind of talk about is how a lot, and by the way, Ray, the reason why I think it's really good is a lot of us are going through this trial, this change in the market. We're getting our ass handed to us in some ways. We're getting beat up in some ways. But I think the key is to not give up, is to if you get knocked down, get back up. Now, I want to open up and have you guys ask some questions and to Ray to see whatever you want to do. But maybe in a minute, Ray, if you wouldn't mind just sharing a little bit about your backstory, because if you're okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because I think it really shows the individual and the mindset it takes to become a person of value, a person that doesn't quit. And I think that's your most powerful weapon, Ray, is your mind.
I like it. I appreciate it.
I think you've been an inspiration to me and to so many people. So
Thank you, bro.
Before Ray goes in that, does anyone have any questions for Ray? No.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I have a question.
Go ahead, Jason.
Well, what advice does he have for us? Like, since he came up there, like he said, and then he went back down, and then he went up and then back down. How can you avoid that if you can? Or what advice does he have? What's the best advice he can have?
Well, see, Ray came from a very affluent family and a silver spoon in his mouth, so he's kind of had everything handed to him. So, he just calls up mom and dad for money if things don't work out, right, Ray?
Of course.
No, go ahead,
No,
Ray.
So to be honest, and I'm really known in the industry as an honest person. I don't hold punches. I don't bullshit. I just don't have time to do so. I don't think you can, bro. That's just part of life. Like, you're going to go up, you're going to go down. There's things that I say to people is you don't know what you don't know, right? So right now you probably want to do 10 subject twos, and then you want to Airbnb them, but then you realize you hate subject two because they're calling your loans due, and then you hate Airbnb because you got to maintenance it. So there's things like you just don't know what you don't know, right? Then there's all that what we want. Like, we want certain things, we want to achieve certain things, but you don't know what that looks like at the end of the day. Like, running a 7-figure operation is not what I wanted. I wanted freedom, right? And then I end up being a slave to my business. So you just don't know what you don't know. And that's part of that up, down, up, down. It's just trial and error. I don't think you can avoid it. I say if you're going to avoid it, your journey in this real estate game is going to be slow and steady. That's the only way you can do it. Is you have to approach everything with precaution. Look at this as like a 30-year game plan. Is like, I'm just going to be slow and steady. I don't care if I pick up one today or one next year. That's going to be your best approach if you want to kind of streamline this thing.
Right. Makes sense.
I have a question for you, Ray. Because I know we're self-taught, but how much do you think it would have helped you to have a mentor or to have a community or a group to kind of bounce ideas off of or work through problems and issues with?
For me, that's my biggest challenge, is not having that, because I can't bounce off any ideas off anybody besides these walls in here. This is who I talk to. And so anytime I got some ideas, I want to share something, there's not very people in a small tight community that I can go to. There's not a a mentor that I can go to. Like I can go to Brandon and be like, hey, bro, I'm working on, X, Y, and Z. And I have done so in the past multiple times. But it's just a beautiful thing where you're around people doing the same thing you're doing. I'm a huge believer in birds of a feather flock together.
Mhm.
That's the benefit of it. Not only that, it cuts corners. So I've been trial and erroring it for about 4 years, right? I'm not sure what you guys are all doing in here, is mentorships or what, but if it is, you'll probably get there in 1 year, right? So you'll beat me to the race for sure.
Yeah, they're all in Creative Real Estate Mentorship with me right now, Ray.
Is it? All right. So
Yeah.
you guys, yeah. So whatever you guys learn, right, from Brandon is shit. I mean, you beat me all day long, or anybody, because you're just getting a shortcut. That's all it is. It's a super shortcut. That's what the mentor is for.
And one of my mentors is in here, Claude Diamond. He's out of Colorado right now, and he's helped me in sales and marketing and everything else. And he's a big master in lease options. He's been around for decades and amazing.
I see, Claude.
Flattery will get you everywhere, Brandon. I'm gonna say, you guys, wherever you live around the country, I'm in a snow blizzard right now here in Colorado. It is blowing and snowing. It's whatever's coming across the country. Get ready for it.
You're over a mile high, aren't you? You're in Winter Park.
I'm
2
at
miles high.
I'm at 10,000 feet. The ski area down the street goes up to 12,000, and we got a lot of mountains. Pikes Peak, they go up to 14,000. Hey, I love what Ray was saying before. That conversation was very interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well,
I'm the product of a mentor.
Yeah, I think it does help save a little bit of time.
Always. That's probably the only. So I do have mentors, but my mentors have I built. I learned a strategy where I can actually build a mentor with books. The hardest thing is I'm such a visual learner that I can read books and kind of turn it into like I can see it. But I'm reading books that are dry, legal books, law books, and I got to bite my hair and pull my hair out just to kind of understand them. Just to kind of creative financing it's tough to understand, especially from a legal aspect.
I learn I read every day, newspapers, books, audio books. You never stop learning. You never quit because things change all the time.
Yeah.
Now, one of the books that you brought up, Ray, is one of the books that I actually was introduced to by Sean Terry, and his father-in-law was Psycho-Cybernetics.
That's my favorite. Yes.
I have that book.
Yeah. Okay. Would you mind, if it's okay, do you want to share a little bit about your background and how that book helped change your direction?
So my whole background doesn't look like it. Looks like I, grew up with a silver spoon in my mouth. But I grew up in California and Denver as well. I grew up in the hood projects. I come from a single parent. I have been in gangs since I was about 12 years old. I went to prison when I was 14 and served 11 years in prison. After I served 11 years in prison, I got out. I've been in construction. I think there was no jobs that really would hire me besides construction. And I've been in construction to learn real estate for the past 8 years before I took my first leap and to get out of it. The reason why Brandon mentions the cybernetic is I was in a hole in prison for about 4 years, and I lost my mind and kind of had an opportunity where God brought me back. And while I was in prison, the guard who was there seeing me lose my mind, I begged him for a book. And the first book that he gave me was Psycho-Cybernetics. And that book helped me kind of change my mindset, helped me grow a little bit, helped me survive the hole and getting out of the hole and getting out of prison and being the person you guys see today.
Ray, you're an inspiration to me, just to let you know.
Thank you, bro.
I sincerely mean that. And every time I hear you speak in public, and he's one of the most amazing public speakers. If you ever get a chance to see him, look at that book. Influenced by Cialdini, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of there's a lot of good books out there. You're right, you know. If it wasn't for my mentor, I'd be cleaning a Slurpee machine right now in the 7-Eleven. Because everybody was giving me motivation, but few people were giving me the tools. You know, hey, shut up and open your ears and keep your mouth shut and listen and learn. And when you see somebody who's really doing it and how they do it, to me, that's huge.
So Claude, you and Ray actually have a lot in common in the sense. So Claude's a recovering attorney, and Ray is and Ray used to work in the legal area too a little bit, didn't you?
I graduated in prison as a paralegal.
Wow.
And then I got out and was working as an attorney. I worked for attorneys for a while.
A legal education can be very useful in business. Very useful.
Huge.
Yeah. Ray's done a lot of all sorts of creative deals, and he was just sharing a lot of the deals he's working on right now, Claude. He's in Phoenix right now. And I think it's amazing. And Ray, the only reason why I have you bring up that story is because I want people to understand it doesn't matter where you started, right? It matters what you're doing now, what you're doing to keep improving. Also, you got knocked down several times in business. We've gotten knocked down several times in business, and it's a matter of getting back up.
Can I share a story with the guys?
Please do.
Okay, so my first year wholesaling, I quit my job, no savings. I was a safety guy. I was making about 6 figures a year as a safety officer. I quit my job, no savings, didn't have anything to kind of back me up. I had 30 days before my next bill kicked in to kind of make this happen. It actually took me 3 months to get my first deal. I locked it up with a guy named Jesse Burrell. I don't know if you guys know that, but he's the owner of Batch Skip Tracing.
I know Jesse well, yeah. It
was a weird, crazy deal where it was an agent who sent me the deal. I couldn't wholesale it. I had to think out of the box to make the deal. For there, I made 60 grand my first year. I blew every dime. I was listening to Alex Saenz from the All In guys. He took his family to Hawaii and he did a challenge. And he said, if you could take your family somewhere. So I took my family to Jamaica. We went to Hawaii. I'm talking about family members they don't like me. We don't talk. And we all went to cruises and had a lot of fun. And 3 months later of vacating, I was broke. I had no leads. All my deals were gone. And I realized what it means to be an entrepreneur and how I was self-employed. And within the last 3 months, I had to file bankruptcy. My first year, I was depressed for about 3 months. Wouldn't go to work, wouldn't move, wouldn't pick up my phone. I kind of went dark, went a little ghost. Finally got back on my feet, went work again for about a good year before I quit and started my own door knocking team. And I started going from there.
I love how honest you are. Most people, they don't like to share that stuff on Instagram, right? We only show the wins. We don't show the losses. But like I always tell people, a lot of times we learn more from our losses than we do from our wins. Claude says, great story. Bravo, Ray. And I think it's true. I think about little kids, how they learn to walk, how they learn to ride a bike. Like they're going to fail multiple times. And if you think about that's life in general. The key is trying to figure out how to put bumpers on, like if you're bowling, you know how they put the bumpers on the gutter so you don't go in the gutter. So if you can have some guide rails or some bumpers on there to help keep us in the way, so we're not losing too much money, or we don't take big losses, and we learn along the way, or we can get out. And one of the reasons why I'm going to be talking about options tonight is because it's one of the most least risky ways to get started in real estate. Really almost no risk. Depending on how much you're going to put into that option for the option fee. But a lot of us take on a lot of risks. And I know some guys right now, and Ray knows the same guys in town that are taking some big L's right now. I'm talking about like some 6-figure, 7-figure L's. I have a friend of mine that has $2 million out with one of our buddies that's flipping homes, and they're paying $60,000 a month in interest only payments. And the houses are not selling as fast as they're hoping, you know. So, you know, that's a big check to write every month. So, what are you doing now to kind of keep you focused? Like, what excites you? What gets you out of bed? What type of deals are you working on? And I know Apollo did have a question about novations, and maybe we can dive in that in a second too.
So the what gets me out of the bed is, I don't know, I refuse to lose. So there's no way. I've come too far. I made too many sacrifices, too many promises. Like I just can't turn back at all. I kind of did the Tony Robbins burn the boat thing. And I'm just swimming to the island. There's no way for Ray, because I have to get to the island. So what motivates me is the wins. I don't even care about the losses. I just want to win. A small win for me is excellent.
We noticed the stock market whenever it goes up, right? But people don't notice it always has this jagged little back and forth like that. There's losses along the way too. Yeah. So I have a little quote I want to read for everyone, and then we'll dive in a little bit on questions. This is from the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It says, before success comes to most people, they are sure to meet with much temporary defeat, perhaps some failure. When faced with defeat, the easiest and most logical thing to do is quit. That is exactly what the majority of people do. More than 500 of the most successful people in America have ever known told the author their greatest success came just one step beyond the point of which defeat had overtaken them. So the success comes right after the defeat. If you can overcome that, or get back up like Buster Douglas did, right? Or shake yourself off after a bankruptcy or after a failed business venture or something like that, we can keep going. So Apollo did had a question about novations, how novations work, or how you were doing novation. And then I want to open up for everyone else to ask some questions before we let Ray off here.
Sure, Apollo.
So he just said, how do novations work?
So novation is you guys are aware with assignments, right? Everybody knows what assignments are?
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Yes, sir.
So assignment
all the time.
Assignment is an A, B, C contract. You got seller, whoever's in between, whether that's an agent or a wholesaler, and then you have the buyer. And you assign your rights over to the buyer. A novation works where you're going to take that same process, but you're going to replace that contract instead of assigning it over. So you could take a purchase contract from a seller, and you could take that, and actually it's similar to a double close, where you're going to take that contract and replace it with the buyer contract, marry those two together, right? So you can get your fee out in between. So you'll never sign on these contracts. It'll be the buyer selling, or the buyer signing and the seller signing. You're just going to merge those two parties together. That's how assignments work. You could do that with, go ahead, Brendan.
Oh, no, that's fine. I was going to just quickly share with everyone, if you're in the Creative Real Estate Mastermind and in this group here under the classroom area, if you go to the coaching call recordings, if you scroll down here, novation training.
Oh, okay.
We did a novation training with Rich Wonders, and he talked about the deals that how to kind of present that, and then the paperwork he uses as well right here for everyone in the group. So
I like that.
Awesome.
Now you guys got all the cheats in there.
I know, think about how hard we had to work to figure some of this stuff out, right? I mean, back in the day, there's a guy named Jack Miller who did options. He would basically lock it up with an option, and that's how he would do it. Instead of a novation, he would just release his option. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, love Jack Miller.
Yeah, Jack's awesome.
All right. Well, I'm going to open up for some questions before we let Ray go. Ray, thank you so much for jumping on the call, man. I appreciate it more than you know.
Can I throw something else out there for Apollo as well?
Yeah.
So the novations for me, there's 4 ways to do novations. I'm working on a 5th one. You can do novation on a flip. You could do novation on a wholesale. You could do novation on leases. You could do novation on land, which I love novations on land. And you could do novation on office buildings, which is the 5th one. I'm trying to work on doing novations on office building with brokers. It's a little bit challenging for that strategy.
Yeah,
So there's 5 of them you can actually do.
Ray, I have a connection for you. I'll give you a connection after we get off. There's a guy out of Colorado who did a great class on master leasing that I went through, and basically how to assign the leases to you if you become the master lease person. So his name is David Tilney. I'd love to try to connect you. You do commercial and regular real estate that way. You can have all the leases assigned to you, even though they already have a lease in place with the tenant.
That would be a master lease, right? Is there a way to do it with novation?
Yeah. So are you talking about selling the property? Or are you talking about keeping?
No, just sell the leases over. You can novate. You can novate. That's my next one I would like to try.
Yeah, they were doing novations also with boats. People done that with boats and big machinery as well. So it's been around for a while. So it's just different ways of doing it. So I love this. Questions for Ray. And Ray, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Go ahead and unmute yourself, anyone that has a question, or throw it in the chat, and we'll give him a few minutes because I know he's busy. And thank you so much for jumping on here. Paula said thank you.
Where would you recommend find the best place to try to find creative financing deals with like zero money down? Is that hard to find zero money down deals?
How are you finding your deals, Ray?
Yep.
There's questions in there. I'm going to try to answer. For the stuff that I do, because a lot of it's advanced, I don't look for deals. They come to me. What I mean by that, and Brandon, you could probably fill in the gaps what I mean to help these guys out.
He's built a network he knows over 100 wholesalers in this market. And whenever they have a problem, they go and bug Ray. They're like, I don't think I don't know what to do. Maybe you can do something with this. Right? Am I close?
There's also entry strategies, right? So sometimes I enter a deal traditionally and I exit creative. Right. Sometimes I enter creative and I exit traditionally. Sometimes I enter both creative and I just leverage creative financing like money, sourcing, right? All of that's creative financing at the end of the day. Your best sourcing for you right now is going to be with agents and wholesaler. You don't have wholesaler connections. There are so many deals on MLS in every market all day long. That would be your best source. Start building a team, put some agents on your team, have them start sourcing some things and pitching offers for some carrybacks and some lease options. You can find those all day long. Right
so
now.
Ray, let's say we go ahead and we talk to a couple of agents that want to work with us. How would we approach them, or what would we say, hey, what we're looking for, or how would you give them your requests?
My request when I'm talking to agents is I'm specifically looking to either rent out a property for a short-term period. That turns out to be an Airbnb arbitrage that I'm looking to do. I'm also turning those lease options into hard money lenders. So I'll balloon a payment. I'll do 6 months to a year. I'll just rent it out and then flip it.
Hold on. Say that one more time, because this was amazing what you just said.
So when I do the rent strategy, I'm either looking to do an Airbnb, or my second option is I want to rent it, but I want to rent it for the short term because I want to turn the seller into a hard money lender without them knowing that they're a hard money lender. So I just want to get in the property with the least amount down, first and last. I want to get in there for a monthly payment, which is the same thing I do with hard money. And then I'll work it out. Well, I can flip the property and put it back on the market and sell it.
So it's a lease option.
He's actually buying it. he's actually buying it with the seller. He's just making payments to the seller for a time until he flips that one.
Correct. Which is a lease option.
Mhm.
So those
So
are two options.
he's done all sorts of crazy stuff. So you can throw a couple things at him and curveballs. He's probably seen it or dealt with it or figured a way around it.
But just for Timmy, like the agents, they're easy. I'm looking for rents. I just want to rent something out. So my criteria is like, I'm just looking for something to rent short term. If you guys find anything, reach out to me, let me know. My second option is I'm looking for anybody whose house has been on the market for longer than 60 to 90 days. They haven't got any offers, or they've got plenty of offers. They got plenty of pendings and a whole bunch of wholesalers who've fallen out of contract, and they really have a need to sell. These I'll take over. Go ahead.
Now, Ray, I'm going to tell you, there's a couple guys in here that are real estate agents and some others that have wives that are real estate agents.
Okay.
What can they do to help find some of these deals?
The best way to find some of these deals, if it's your wife, I would have her start looking for them on the MLS. I'm looking for anything 60 to 90 days longer. I'm also looking for pending. I'm looking for anybody who has a pending. I'll keep an eye on it if it's pending, because if it doesn't close, I want to know that. I'm also looking for ones who've been in inspection periods at least 3 to 4 times.
Because so the back on the market, the ones that are back on the market, those are good ones.
Those are huge ones, because those are wholesalers that keep locking them up, not selling them, locking them up, not selling them. And your sellers are getting really pissed. But they really are, they become motivated to sell because of wholesalers. Perfect.
This is another level for a lot of us, because a lot of us have been mainly wholesaling. So now we're stepping up. By the way, I don't know about you, Ray, but I think 2023 is going to be huge for creative financing.
I think it is. If you're not in creative financing by 2022, something is wrong. The opportunity is there for everything everybody can see. There's so many deals you can pick up for 0 down. I'll be honest with you guys in the group. Okay. The good thing about me doing creative financing is I just know math. I suck at math, but I spend time learning certain principles of math, like ROI, what's my return on investment, what's my cash on cash exchange. These things help me understand creative financing. So if I'm able to buy a deal with 0 interest and I put it at 8 interest to my buyer, my first year I almost get my money back.
This is
so
great.
A lot of people don't know that. Like your first year in, I've already paid 50,000 over it. I will get my money back in the first year or 2.
By the way, Ray's in my mastermind, my Go Giver group out here, and we're having a guy come from Texas. I don't know if you know Scott Horn and his partner. They're coming out and he just does seller financing. He doesn't do any rental property. He doesn't own any rental property. I think he has a couple, but he's tried not to have any rental properties. So he either buys these with a private money or his own money down payment, and then sells them on terms, either subject to or wraps, buys them on subject to or wraps, and then sells them on wraps and like agreement for sales or land contracts. So that way he gets them, and he usually makes he bumps up the interest rate quite a bit, makes a nice arbitrage, and can usually pay off those houses, the first loan, in about 7 years, he says. That's 7 to 8 years. That's amazing. So Rico has a quick question. He's from Oakland, California.
I grew up out there.
He says, Ray, how do you assign your lease options? Like, how do you market the property to buyers?
How do I assign my lease options?
Or how do you market for buyers on a lease option?
Well, one is I'm half Dominican. I don't look it, but I speak Spanish. So I actually find a lot of my buyers are Hispanic. That's where I go. They're on Facebook. They're on Craigslist. Because I've been a construction worker for so long, they're actually at job sites. So when I first started this, I went to Kansas, and I would actually go to the job site to figure out who these guys were and if they were looking for houses, because they're the ones who have huge, they're making $20, $30 an hour. They have tons of money sitting under a mattress. those are going to be the first people you want to talk to. So if you don't speak Spanish, find somebody who does. You want to market on Facebook in Spanish, because there's a huge market that are looking for these type of deals all day long.
I got a question for Ray too.
That's gold, Ray. That's gold. Go ahead, JC.
Ray, ¿de dónde tú eres? Yo soy dominicano también.
¿Cómo estás, loco? ¿Qué lo que?
Nice. But everyone else understands it. I'm catching up. So
You'll get it.
I am paisano too.
Who said that?
What's
Nate.
going on?
Nice.
Yeah, it's neat.
beautiful.
So the when you're leasing your stuff, I do stuff different now, because I love B2B. So if you guys really want to know a hyperactive, really good nugget, here's a good nugget. If you can get to B2B, if you can find a business owner, immigrants are number one. Don't care if they're Ethiopian, don't care if they're from Iraq, Iran. The people who are getting here, they're not used to doing American banking systems. Their banking system is a mattress, a pillowcase. Okay. If you're getting people who are or businesses, they have a lot more to put down. Most of the stuff that I have people putting down 50 to 100K down.
Wow. Wow, that's huge.
Because their
You guys-
business.
Didn't you just sell one in Phoenix on terms too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric Sages, I have a lot of buyers because I go door to door. I talk to businesses. There's so many businesses who are, they're scared to be bankable. So I go to places that are they're heavy on cash. I'm known to be the guy who sells to strippers, heavy on cash. Salesman, right? Your car lot guys, you guys are on commissions, you guys are on the phones, do the same stuff we do in this real estate industry that really are just getting cash. So these are the best people to go to, especially business owners, because they have a lot of cash. If you give them an opportunity, they will love you.
Sell to strippers. Just remember that. That's going to be the mantra tonight. Okay. Sell to strippers. They have cash. No, that's great. No, this is all good stuff because, you don't think about this a lot of times, but a lot of times, my brother and I used to work at a credit union back in Louisville, Kentucky. And the people were retirees of this old railroad, and a lot of them were union workers and stuff. And they came from the old school where they literally kept like $80,000 cash under a mattress, and they'd bring it in all misty and moldy smelling and invest it into a retirement account. And my brother's like, I can't believe they literally walked into the bank in the credit union with like $80,000 cash. Like the house could have caught on fire and all their money would have been gone. That's
I have a few now that I do with Eric Sage. Brandon, I know who you I know who that is.
Yeah. And Eric, if you guys don't know, Eric was the mentor who taught Pace Morby.
Yeah.
So
I bring a lot of buyers to Eric Sage because my buyers are, so I actually go to, I know there's a couple guys here in Phoenix, there's a couple guys in here in California. They have these tire shops called llanteras. They have these corn trucks. They call them the elote man, right? And these guys have tons of cash. So I go to these guys and I talk to them. A lot of them are renting, and they're probably paying like $2 to $3 grand a month in rent, right? Because of their ethnicity, and they're looking for houses. A lot of these guys are sitting on like $30,000, $50,000. I just sold a house that's about 800 square foot to a guy who owned a tire shop, and he put 100K down.
And a lot of those folks are multi-generational, right? They usually have kids or parents that are living with them as well, right?
Yeah. Yep. And I grew up the same way, so I understand the life and the culture. So this is the best way if you got lease options, seller financing deals. These are where you actually find your buyers at. These are the people you go.
I'm loving this. This is good. Because, we have folks, we have Jacob's in Texas, Timmy's in Florida, Joseph's in Florida.
Perfect.
Apollo's in Florida, JC's in Jersey, but all over the place. He drives all over the place. Nate's here in Phoenix.
What's up, Nate?
Rico's in Cali.
What's up, Ray?
Yeah, there's no shortage of people willing to buy these properties. The only thing I think about is who's not bankable. That's it.
You know what?
The-
I think Ray, you just hit on something. I think a lot of times we have this limited mindset that, well, I don't know if I can find a buyer, so I'm not sure if I want to lock it up.
Oh, no, there's,
If you already had the buyer in place and they said, I have this much money, they can go. By the way, Roxy just joined us. She's from Salt Lake. So, and she's Spanish too. She speaks Spanish as well. So
so a lot of stuff that I do is I go old school. So a lot of the methods I studied were old school methods. These are methods of 30, 40 years ago.
I'm telling you, it's coming back. Like, don't be afraid to talk to the OGs, right? The
These
old
are still
gurus.
old methods. So what I'm doing stuff, I kind of do a sneak primo for agents, right? I know there's some agents in here. They call it pocket listings, right? So I know agents, when they're talking to people, a lot of times they don't even have these under contract, right? They'll go to the brokerage and be like, hey, just knocked on the door. I got a seller who wants to sell. I got to go tomorrow to, sign the contract. And that's a pocket listing that they're going to be working on. And in their entire brokerage, the deal gets moved around before it gets locked on the contract, before it goes on the market. So I tap into these resources because these are old school methods that are still done kind of behind the scenes. Well, I'll reach out to an agent and say, hey, I got a deal coming up. It's seller financing. I need 40 down. Do you know anybody, in your brokerage that you can kind of have conversations, see if they might be interested? I'm going to lock it up tomorrow. And they move around as a pocket listing.
I love it. I love it. By the way, Claude chimed in and he said old school is picking up the freaking phone and talking to people every day. And I think there's Ray, I think you're just a perfect example of that there's no substitute for talking to people. People can do all the automations and all the VAs, and we've all tried and done different things and stuff, but I mean, Ray's a closer, but also Ray's a connector. He knows how to talk to people, knows how to qualify them. I think that's one of your talents too, for sure.
Yeah, closing deals I'm very good at closing deals.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say I understand this methodology. It came from a book that Brandon, what was the name of that book you gave me on the guy who bought the entire New York on options?
Oh, Zeckendorf.
Zeckendorf, yes. Beautiful book. So in there, there's a level of being an investor. One of the phases is you have to be able to either talk to people, negotiate, analyze numbers, and write contracts. Like that was like level 1. Once you started understanding level 1, then you can get into the more detailed and integral stuff. But you need to master that for sure, right? Because once you got that, like you can lock a deal up very quickly. And it's just a conversation, nothing crazy, no hardcore negotiations. I don't really negotiate too hard with people. I just come up with solutions based upon what they want.
So Ray, you and I are aligned a lot, like so Claude's one of my mentors and I align a lot with Claude. One of the things that Claude's really big about, and I am big about, is attraction marketing. Imagine how much money people spend on telemarketing, on pay-per-click, on direct mail. I mean, thousands and thousands of dollars, but they can't convert. Like, I see you doing attraction marketing. You're getting deals brought to you. You're closing those deals with no money out of your pocket, right?
Yeah, so I learned this strategy. It's called the glue deal. And how the glue deal works is there's certain deals or transactions when you become a glue person, right? So let's say it's Claude is known in Colorado as the guy who thinks out the box, right? And he's well known in Colorado to be that person. He is now a glue guy. And once he gets known in his town as the glue guy, certain people are going to give him a call and be like, hey, you are the guy who thinks out the box. Are you willing to jump in on this deal? And Claude has the power to say, yes, no, you know what, let me check it out. Let me look at it. And once he closes it, the word spreads like fire. And every deal, he's a glue guy.
You know what? You just nailed it. Claude, can I ask you to chime in on this for a second? Because he just got a glue deal in North Carolina. Didn't you, Claude?
Wait a second, I just moved to there a couple months ago. That's my
Yeah,
backyard now.
Claude bounces from California, Colorado, and North Carolina. That he has houses there, every those places. So, would you mind sharing a little bit about the glue deal you got in North Carolina, real quick?
Yeah, it's Claudia's mom lived out there, and she's in her late 90s, and we wanted to take care of her, so I picked up a property out there. This was about 4 weeks ago. Pinehurst is an upscale golf community. It's where people pay $600 to play a round of golf, crazy stuff. And the neighborhoods run from about $450 to a couple $1 million. And I found a lot through a realtor in Zillow for $25,000. And has the sewer, the water, everything needs a little bit of work, not much. And we're going to throw a modular home on it. I mean, that one deal is going to make me 300,000 plus. It's so I bought the property. It's 25,000. That's, you can put that on a credit card. Credit is important in this business. I could take the property. I can build a house on it. I can sell I could sell the land to somebody else and paint a picture of how they'll make the 300,000. I'm going to do it myself, actually. And I love taking a step backwards. All I do every day is talk to people. I do my marketing, attraction marketing. And if every day I speak to 3, 4, 5 people or more, I make offers, I set up a follow-up system, because a lot of people say no to me, just like everyone else. But I have my notes and I follow up. And if every day I talk to people and every day I make offers, and then I follow up with a video or a letter of intent, a sales agreement, good stuff happens. It's consistency. I love everything you're saying, though, Ray. You're a role model, man. You're an inspiration. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Everything. In fact, here, I'll share with you a little sip of my George Clooney tequila. So salute to everybody. Merry Christmas and
Salute.
Mm.
Hey, any last questions for Ray? Ray, thank you so much for being on here. I appreciate it. I know we're at the top of the hour. We have a few minutes left.
Can I throw something?
Please.
I would say the with Claude, Brandon, what you guys are saying is probably bigger than my biggest thing is I don't really spend too much money. At this point, I don't, right? But a lot of it's sweat.
Baby.
A lot of this is just over time of me just making calls, talking to people. It took me, a good month or 2 or 3 to like really build it up. But now it's like everybody's calling.
Can I share something with you? In the Stone Age, before the internet, you're all too young. You weren't there, I know, but I was. And we used to literally spend $10,000 a month on advertising in newspapers, classified ads, magazines. We used to do postal mailers, $10,000 a month, $120,000 a year in advertising. And then the internet happened, and guess what? And it's even better today than it was 10 years ago, because now you can put out a content to attract prospects and deals, or you can research them online. They're there for you. The Zillow.
Ray, Claude, you'd be Ray's really good on Instagram. He's all over on Instagram. He shows his work. He shows on social media the rehabs he's doing. Mm-hmm. He's done a lot of public speaking. He's created his own meetups. And this is what I want to encourage everyone else to do. He's developed that way to attract. He's created that network of wholesalers and real estate agents that are bringing him deals now.
You said something magical, public speaking. That I spoke, 2 months ago in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, at a seminar. My good friends Larry and Mariska Gill and everything. That speaking engagement brought me in 6 figures. If you have the courage to get in front of people, tell them about your mistakes, tell them about your successes and everything. And then you open it up for them to contact you. Make it easy to contact you. I tell people on most of my videos, call me. I answer my own phone. I get a lot of garbage calls, but I get a lot of quality calls too. I talk to people.
Now, speaking of that, since Ray, you're our guest, is there a way if anyone has any leads or deals that they want to work with you on, how would they contact you?
You You can call me. My phone number is 602.
I'll type it in the chat for everyone.
I'm
here.
doing it for you.
Okay,
575 5827.
What was the second three?
575 5827. You can find me on Instagram. That's it right there.
Let's see if it works. Let's see if
It
it
worked.
works. Can I call you?
Don't do it.
he's on his phone right now though. It'll mess up his Zoom.
Yeah, that's how you know it works.
There you go. And you're also on Instagram, right? Is it Out of the Box Investor?
No, it's Ray _ Spencer the banker.
Oh, right. By the way, if you guys have not seen that movie, that is one of my favorites. It's on Disney Plus. Claude, you got to see that if you haven't seen it. The Banker with Samuel Jackson. Amazing movie.
I saw
Amazing
that.
movie.
That was a great rags to riches. I love that story.
Yeah.
That was a great story.
Last questions for Ray before we wrap up, and I'm going to end with the video for tonight. Any last questions for Ray?
If they don't, I want to share something with everybody.
Please do, Ray. Thank you so much again. Thanks for being. I wasn't. You stayed on way longer than I expected you to, so I really appreciate you, man.
I would just like to. I want to tell everybody is because I'm looking at everybody. I can see everybody's faces. I see some people chimed in, some people chimed out. I've been watching you, studying your faces. Right. A lot of this stuff is overwhelming. Right. A lot of it's a lot of information. Okay. Don't get overwhelmed by the chatter. Don't get overwhelmed about A to Z, right? The best thing about it is being in a community where you don't have to figure it all out. All right. Know what you want to do, know what you want to achieve in this industry, whether it's an Airbnb, whether it's seller financing, the lease option, right? Don't get too crowded with all the options, all the opportunities, all the great, good riches you can make. This is a slow and steady game. If you just pick the one thing that you want to be good at and focus on it for the next 3 months, you guys will win, like 100%.
I appreciate that, Ray, and you're right on. I think the reality is that sometimes we do get knocked down, and a lot of people are getting knocked down right now. And I love your story because you've been knocked down, you've been honest and open about it, but you've gotten back up. If you guys got 3 minutes, I want to share this video with you, and we'll wrap up at the end of this video. Is that okay if I share a quick video with you guys?
Yeah. The comments at the bottom.
Okay.
Jacob.
All right. Yeah, this is the story. I love this. If you guys don't know who Eric Thomas is, he talks about this. So let's hopefully the sound. Give me a thumbs up if when I hit play if you can hear this. Okay.
Incidents that happened.
Can you
in my
hear
life,
it?
You know, when I was younger, and that's like with me forever. Like I'll remember this. It was just like a little boxing match, but it was like life changing, right? And so y'all know who Mike Tyson is.
Brandon, we're not seeing the
Mike
video
Tyson had
though.
never lost a fight.
Oh,
But he was different.
hold on. Thank you for letting me know. Can you see it now?
Yep.
Okay.
He wasn't like a finesse fighter. He grew up.
This is the story of Buster Douglas
He
beating Mike
was
Tyson.
upstate New York, living in a detention home. And this cat used to come out with like black shoes, no socks, little shorts. And within like 1 or 2 rounds, you knocked out. Like everybody, he just bop, bop, they just drop it to the ground. And so the little thing was, if you didn't catch Mike Tyson fight like in the 1st or 2nd round, you missed the whole thing. So when you knew Mike was fighting, you had to hurry up and get to the TV. But this was a little different. This guy right here, Buster Douglas. Matter of fact, the reports say that Mike wasn't even supposed to fight him. He was supposed to fight somebody else. But this was like a fight in between until he could fight, I guess, Holyfield or whoever he was trying to fight. So Buster Douglas was a no-name. But the crazy thing is when you study the story, is that this dude's mom had told everybody at the beauty shop that her son was gonna be Mike Tyson. She bragged, right? He like, Mom, chill out, this is Mike Tyson. No, he knocking folk out. Like, don't do that, you know, keep your mouth shut. Mike Tyson is like undefeated. But what happened was just a couple days before the actual fight, his mom died, right? I need you to hear what I'm saying. Just a couple nights before the fight, Buster Douglas' mom died. And so Buster Douglas was like, look, mom's died, mom's was bragging, I gotta win this fight. So Mike Tyson knocked my man out. Nobody in the history of boxing, when Mike knocked you out, nobody gets up. Nobody gets up.
Tyson, that's one of the few uppercuts he's landed in the fight. We've been looking for that all night. Oh, that's a nice uppercut that time. The drops Buster Douglas. The count's up to 2 and 3 and 4. His eyes from where I'm sitting look fairly clear. It's up to 7 and 8. And here it is at 9. Is he going to get up? Yes, he does. All right. And the bell ends. The 8th round. What a round for Mike Tyson.
This dude get to about 8, 9. He like kind of just like, you know, barely up. My man was like, are you straight? Can you go on? Because I'm telling you, Mike about to knock you out. He was like, I'm good. I'm good. I can do it. I got this one. Right? So he gets up, they fighting again. And then I don't know what happened, but somewhere around the 10th round, my man Buster Douglas does what no fighter has ever done in the history of Mike Tyson fight. He knocks Mike Tyson out.
Nice uppercut by Buster Douglas. Look at this. He's knocked Mike Tyson down for the first time in his career. Mike Tyson hits the canvas. He's in big trouble. He may not be able to recover. It's up to 7 and 8. He's not gonna make it. Unbelievable.
All right. I just wanted to share that because I thought that was really inspirational. And I know a lot of people are going through some rough times with the economy and worrying about what's happening with the real estate market. And some people are taking some L's right now or getting knocked down a little bit. But don't give up. Stand back up. Get back and fight. I love that story. And it's so inspirational because his mom passed away right before the fight and all that stuff happened. So before we wrap up, is there any last questions? I see your hand up, Apollo. Did you have a question, buddy? I think you're muted. Sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, sure can.
Hey, thanks for sharing everything. But I want to kind of, I don't know if you have time to go a little bit in depth about what Ray said. So the lease option, he will look for a property being on the market. The seller become a little bit more desperate to sell, and he would pitch it to lease it from them with lease option to purchase, and then he would turn around and sell the property. How does that work? If the seller, yeah.
So there's two ways there's 2 ways to do that. You can do a lease option assignment, and you just assign the deal like you would wholesale any other deal. And the other thing you can do is a sandwich lease option. It's basically where you stay in the middle until the tenant buyer buys the property. So
essentially you become the second landlord. So you lease it, you have a 1-year lease or 2-year lease option.
Yeah,
to purchase.
usually it can be longer. It can be anywhere from a year. It's all negotiable. So
and then you re-rent it. Right?
Yeah,
like
sorry,
a
what's
rental
that?
arbitrage. Like a rental arbitrage.
Yeah, you do like a rental arbitrage. So you get a little money up front, you get a little money in the middle while you're renting it, and then you get a big back end bump too. So
okay.
So
and then how do you convince the seller to, like, a lot of sellers be like, hey, you don't have the option to sell my property because you don't own it yet?
It's actually not as hard as it sounds. We can spend a little bit of time on it if you want to book a call with me. I'd be glad to spend a little time with you and help you through that. Just go to Brandon.
It sounds like it's very common, right? Sounds like very common. You guys do it all day, right?
Yeah, Claude that was on here, Claude's been doing that for over 20 years.
Right.
And what happens a lot of times, those lease options turn into those other deals. Ray, thank you so much. Merry Christmas, buddy. Happy New Year.
Thank you, Ray, for coming on. Thank you, Brendan.
Everyone else, thank you for jumping on. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. If you guys need anything, feel free to book a call. Just go to brandontheman.com and hit me up. Okay.
Thanks guys.
Brendan.
Merry Christmas.
Bye, everybody.